Shalom. Call Aloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And if you can see, the bottom caption of this video is from Twitter, or I guess X now. It says Baltimore is now facing apocalyptic levels of policing shortages. So we're going to watch this clip. It's about 2, maybe 2.5 minutes, and then we'll grab some precepts surrounding it.
Take you to the shift, anyone willing to work overtime?
In the Southern District on Tuesday, there was a plea for officers to work overtime. Minutes later, it went citywide.
Citywide, overtime available on today's date, trolley shift, Southern District. Anyone interested?
Baltimore's Southern Police District is the city's largest district, 61,000 residents. And on Tuesday afternoon, sources tell us at one point there were 3 police officers on patrol. Just seconds after the plea for officers hit the airwaves, so did pleas for help.
If anyone in Sector 2 can come clear, we have a physical child abuse at Moral Park, and there's a 10-year-old at the location with bruises all over his body. Okay, we also have a common assault. We have a missing person, 2640 Huron Street.
10 minutes after that child abuse call was transmitted, it appears there were still no officers en route.
We still holding that physical child abuse?
Yes, sir. And be advised, we are now holding 10 calls. No priority ones. We still have the physical child abuse and the common assault.
And it's heartbreaking. Imagine if you are a crime victim.
Betsy Smith with the National Police Association calls the city's police staffing dangerously low.
You are endangering the lives of the police officers that are on duty. And what that further does is endanger the lives of the citizens.
There's 522 vacancies.
At a city budget hearing last year, the top brass admitted it struggled with recruitment and is hoping to hire civilians to fill in the gaps.
We're looking at upwards to 120 to 140 positions that we're trying to create in this request to be able to sustain going forward.
The reason that 9 out of every 10 police departments in this country is short-staffed is because we have been dealing with, here in the United States, this 3.5, almost 4-year vilification and demonization of the American law enforcement officer.
Until perceptions change, Smith predicts recruitment will not improve, and the pleas for officers will grow louder.
16 is going to pick up the physical child abuse as it becomes clear of his larceny from auto.
Our sources are telling us tonight that the department is actually postponing training for officers just to keep them on the streets. We're live. Jeff Abel, Fox 4.
Yeah, so that's it. And obviously, you know where we're going with this. This is basically a video the Spirit has me bringing out. And we do things like this to show that the stage is being set for Jacob's trouble. Not to say that Jacob's trouble is here. Not to just say, wow, look what's going on. We're not bringing these things out for no reason. We say it to let you know the Bible talks about a time of anarchy, where people are going to be running wild, buck wild, lawless society, doing whatever they want, not regarding the police, the government, whoever. And this is going to be one of the reasons why. You see over here in Baltimore, nobody wants to be a goddamn policeman. They probably don't get paid well. I don't know about the hours. Maybe they're long. Plus, they're probably working all the goddamn time just because there's so much crime. There's so much activity, getting no breaks. You see, she said, 61,000 residents, and there were only 3 police officers patrolling the whole district. So they got a call for child abuse at the park. 10 minutes later, still nobody en route. Then right after that, another call, common abuse. After that, a missing person. How do you do all that with only 3 people? So now people are getting fed up and they're sick. They're like, you know what? Forget it. Too much is happening. We're not getting paid enough. Probably want better benefits. People quitting. And I heard about it months ago with people quitting, police officers and stuff like that. Now we're seeing the ramifications. So police shortages in Baltimore. And don't be surprised if it travels to other cities and other states as well. You know, that's how usually things go. It's a domino effect. But like I mentioned, we're pointing these things out because obviously the stage is being set for Jacob's trouble. It's not going to be a deep video. We're going to jump to 2nd Esdras 15, verse 14, where it talks about this in detail. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." So we have to pause right there. We have to understand that the word woe in this sentence, it just represents destruction. Destruction, calamity, just an evil or a bad time, because that's what's coming to the world. So woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, right? And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, like we said before, a sword is nothing more than a weapon, a killing instrument. So the modern day weapon or the modern day killing instrument is a gun. So this is what Ezra saw when he got the vision. But you have to put yourself in his shoes. You've never seen a gun before. We're talking about in the time of the Medial Persian Empire. He saw these things and he just called it a gun. I mean, he called it a sword because that was the best way that he could explain it. So he's getting a vision of these end days, right? So he saw guns. So we saw, verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Don't be surprised if you hear about some crazy things happening within the coming days and weeks over here in Baltimore. Because you think other people don't know about the shortages of police. They're going to start doing certain things that they feel like they can get away with, especially, just for whatever reason. I bet you that energy is going to start changing and people are going to start getting colder and colder after this upcoming eclipse, just for whatever reason. Watch. That's just my belief, though. We'll see what actually happens. But they talking about shutting down different school districts in certain counties and just not having school on April 8th. Some kind of eclipse, and then also a comet passing by Earth on the same day. They're deploying National Guards in certain places. Who knows, right? But all of this is just the stage being set for Jacob's trouble when it fully manifests. So we see how these things are going to happen. We see the snowball effect. Things just gradually getting bigger and bigger leading up to that day. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword or the gun, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So right now, whatever district that was, 61,000 residents, it was only 3 police in that area, right? And the lady said that 9 out of 10 police departments in Baltimore are experiencing shortages. Obviously, that makes sense. They said there's something like a little over 500 openings. That's crazy. I mean, I'm sure it's not just police. It's probably people working behind the scenes, taking phone calls, things like that and everything, right? But imagine these upcoming weeks when the news really starts spreading and people know about it. Oh, it's going to get bad. And that's not even Jacob's trouble. Right, so how much worse is Jacob's trouble going to be when there's famine? There's famine and there's no police? Oh yeah, it's time to get busy. People going to be out here broad daylight walking around with the sword. Walking around with it, dropping people in broad daylight because there's no repercussions. No one's going to get you for your actions. There's no penalty anymore. So, Lord's will, we see some crazy things happening over there in Baltimore. People getting judgment just so things can get worse. And then, of course, that's just leading up to Jacob's trouble. Now we know what mindset we have to be in. We should be preparing our minds right now to see crazy things. because the world is getting worse. People are waxing colder and colder. Let me jump over now to the 16th chapter, because I mentioned how things will get worse and that snowball effect. Well, the Bible talks about that as well. And this is 2 Ezra 16, verse 37. It says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in her 9th month bringeth forth her son. With 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment." So right before she's about to give birth, those birth pains, they come a little bit harder, a little bit faster, a little bit harder, a little bit faster, until, of course, the child comes. And they're not slack, meaning they just keep coming, right? That's how you know she's close. She's about to give birth. Well, it's the same exact way that these plagues are going to come to America, and they have been. And they're going to continue to come harder and harder. We've said it before, but you think the COVID back in 2020 was bad. Well, wait what Esau has planned and what he has saved up in his lab somewhere. Pestilences are going to be at an all-time high. It's going to be even worse. It's going to be left and right. People dropping dead. And it's going to be something crazy. It's just in the air, guys. We don't know where it is, what it's coming from. China. They're just going to throw some things out there. It's going to be a time like that. Watch. So these plagues, they're going to come harder and harder and keep hitting. And then verse 39, it says, "Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side." So like I said, the plagues are going to come harder and harder, and then people are going to be more and more destitute. Straight up just assed out, confused, not knowing what to do. And to a lot of people, to majority, I'll say, of people in America and around the world, it's going to feel like this was just overnight. Like this just happened out of nowhere. Yesterday, we just went to the movies and we went out to eat. Now we're waking up and just, boom, like what happened? I feel like I was just at work last week. That's how people's mindset is going to be. But we've been given the knowledge from on high. So now we know what to expect. And because we know what to expect, we should be preparing ourselves spiritually and mentally to overcome the battles that are ahead. We know it's going to be wild. We know the plagues are going to get worse and worse here in America. Jobs will be lost. It's already hard to get a goddamn job. They said the job market is the worst it's ever been. Interest rates are still high. If you want to buy a house, right, it's rough. And then you're not getting paid much when you do get a job. Sometimes you got to get a second one, a part-time, just to get by. They saying you need like 3 or 4 streams of income. Now they saying 6 figures is the middle class. You make 120,000, you're just the middle class. It's true. You feel it. The money you made, it ain't the same as pre-COVID. Whatever, I just said it. It's not the same. Rents is going up. It's getting wild. It's just getting worse. So America is just quickly spiraling down the drain right now. The economy is just terrible. And it ain't Biden, right? And yeah, things was up, right, when Trump was in the office. But even if he comes back in the office, or if it's anybody else, things are still going to get worse. It ain't like Trump is going to come back, make America great again, and all of a sudden the economy is going to be better, and now America's going to be thriving for the next 50 years. Hell no. No, we just read the Bible said things will get worse. It doesn't matter who's in office. The economy ain't going back to the golden era, the industrial age of what it used to be. Let me grab one last precept since I'm running off at the mouth, and that's the spirit. We already in Jeremiah, but I want the 50th chapter. Let's see. It's cool. Let's look at 51. Jeremiah 51 verses 8 and 9. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Now this is talking about a future Babylon. It's not referring to the ancient Babylonian Empire. Right? So take balm for this future Babylon, which is what? It's America. And balm is just a healing ointment. But it says, if so, and that's a big if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So how do we know this is talking about a future Babylon? Well, one way that we know is because the same exact terminology in terms of her judgment reaching unto the heavens is relayed in the book of Revelation. And the book of Revelation is talking about things that are going to be revealed. And it mentioned how Babylon the Great, her sins reach unto the heavens. And that Babylon the Great is America. It's an end time prophecy, something to be revealed. So that's how we know. It's one reason, one clue to let us know that this right here in Jeremiah is talking about a future Babylon. So the Bible is telling us that Babylon or America is not going to be healed. Can't take any kind of ointment, aka any policies, no kind of laws. You're not grabbing any bonds or loans from another country. Nothing is going to heal this place. You can't keep printing money for forever. No. The dollar's being devalued. Countries don't want to do business with America anymore. People can't get jobs. No more policemen. It's just, if you can't see that we're living in the end, then you're definitely being blinded by angels. That's what's happening. The only way that we see it is because the angels, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, have opened up our eyes and have given us the knowledge to see these things. So we know America is going down. So Jacob's trouble is quickly approaching. The stage is being set in many, many ways. And this right here is just one. So continue to prepare yourself spiritually and mentally by staying in the word, continuing to pray and fast. And just ask the Lord for mercy, that he has mercy on you and your household in these upcoming days. So call Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.